Hello there, I'm Julie, and today we're going to be talking about my new obsession, which has been the entirety of the Hunger Games series, but for this video I think we're going to focus just on the trilogy. Recently, I have basically binge read the entire series, like all 5 books, and I'm pretty sure I read some of the original trilogy like in middle school and in high school, but wow, the last, and I read the 4th book like a year or two ago. The 5th book absolutely destroyed me. I can't recommend it enough. It's really, really good, but it's heart-wrenching. Like, I was gone. The rest of the day I was out of commission, like, please. But I want to talk about something that I find really, really interesting throughout the entire trilogy, which is the concept of Team Peeta versus Team Gale. And I wanted to tell you my thoughts on it and why I can't seem to form an opinion about it. I think the book did what it should have. I think Peeta was the ultimate correct choice because Katniss was too changed by everything she had been through to be able to really connect with Gale, I guess at that point is the right, it might be the right way to phrase that. But I understand that if the Hunger Games hadn't happened, like she hadn't been reaped, I guess, well, if Prim hadn't been reaped, then maybe Gale could have been the one she ended up with. And she even talks about this, like Katniss, in her point of view, is like, she thinks about, like, maybe in another life, Gale could have been the boy that she ended up with, like, just getting married and settling down. But if it were not for the Hunger Games, like, maybe she could have been enjoying the life she should have had with him. But I think there was too much change in her and around her to ever end up with Gale, because Gale was a constant. And something else Katniss said was that Gale was too much like her, where they were both very fiery individuals that kind of just lit each other up, rather than Peeta, who was a more comforting presence to kind of chill everything out. And there's a lot of nuance with that, especially because it's 3 books worth of lore and drama and trauma. So I mean, I can't really explain everything because I don't remember all of it. But when trying to think of, like, who do I think she should have ended up with, I don't know if she should have ended up with anybody. I understand it kind of needs to happen because that was, like, the main subplot of the whole thing is, like, oh, should I go with the boy with the bread or with Pete or with Gale? Like, I don't know. Maybe if different things had happened, then it would have made sense for Gale to be there. But even as it's written, it still technically could. I just think there's a lot of nuance within that situation, which obviously, of course, there is. And I think it doesn't actually matter whether you're Team Peeta or Team Gale. It really doesn't matter because it's not really the point of the entire series. You know, I think it's really interesting that that is the main thing that gets brought up with the Hunger Games. And I think the love triangle is an important part, maybe, of marketing, perhaps, to where you can get people to read the book in order to understand where people are coming from. Team Gale, I think, is the unpopular opinion, while Team Peeta is what happened. So it's definitely the more popular opinion because it's written in a way that makes sense to the book. But because of this whole love triangle situation between Peeta and Gale, you kind of don't see a lot of it in the book. You see a lot of Peeta because of the 1st book in the Hunger Games, and I guess the 2nd book. You don't see much of Gale at all. So it's a very difficult transition period there. I guess you see Gale a lot in the 1st book, but not really in the 2nd book, kind of. And in the 3rd book, a little bit, I guess. Like, more, but Gale kind of seems irrelevant for a while. And of course you have the twist where Peeta gets reprogrammed and gets and hates Katniss, blah blah blah. But it doesn't feel like the love triangle was even close to the actual plot of the book. It's like maybe it's not even like a subplot, it's like a subplot. Like it is an overarching plot, but it's not the point. And I don't think anyone's trying to claim it's the point. And I don't know if the author intended for it to be like the main thing people talk about when they talk about the Hunger Games. I think it's interesting that society has decided that that is the main contender within the Hunger Games, I guess. Basically, I don't know whether or not I'm Team Peeta versus Team Gale. I'm kind of just there for the ride. Like, I think Team Peeta makes the most sense, but if it was Gale that she ended up with, then that would make the most sense. I don't have a strong feeling either way of like who treated her better and who is better off for her and who's better suited for her. I don't really think it's like that's not one of the main things I'm thinking about when I am thinking about the trilogy. I'm thinking a lot more of like the awful moments with like Rue and Finnick and oh, like I can't do it. It's so awful. Honestly, justice for Finnick. Finnick should have gotten to be with Annie for the entirety of their lives. I'm honestly that's one of the most upsetting deaths for me personally to have witnessed. I mean, not witnessed, but read about. Like that was awful. And I better not catch that happening again. But oh wait, every single book, there's like these characters that shouldn't die are dying. It is infuriating. And I understand it's for a purpose. But oh my goodness, my Shayla. Like I can't do it. But I think honestly, the Hunger Games trilogy is iconic and it's definitely an interesting. I don't think I've ever watched the movies, like really. That's my next thing because I don't think Katniss isn't how I pictured Katniss. Does that make sense? Like I don't picture movie Katniss or movie Gale. You know who I picture as Gale? I picture Beck from Victorious as Gale. And I know like that's not true, but Liam Hemsworth is not, I don't think that's Gale, Peeta, I feel like spot on. I feel like that's how I was imagining him. But like Jennifer Lawrence, I'm like, I don't know. Like I love Jennifer Lawrence, but I don't think like that's not how I picture Katniss. Like that's not right. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the age. Like, because I'm picturing like an actual like 16-year-old, and obviously like you can't like an elaborate movie like this is harder to cast kids for, I guess. Although the Percy Jackson series, the new one, I'm not mad at all. Like I think they did a great job casting, and I think it makes sense. I don't know. Maybe that's tea, but that's my hot take. I think they're great. I actually need to get on that. I've watched the whole first season and I've been slacking ever since. But that's another off-topic tangent. I guess this is just my Hunger Games themed tangent, perhaps. It started off Team Peeta, Team Gale, but I don't really care about that. I care about all the injustices that happened in the books and all the justices. But I think Katniss was correct to kill Coin. I think that's understandable. I understand that 100%. I think Haymitch is great. And then after reading the 5th book, I like the last 30 like minutes of reading that book, I was like, I'm gonna cry. This is awful. Like, oh my god, my Shayla. Anyways, sorry, I don't care though. Sorry, spoilers. Is the 5th one into a movie? I don't know. Hey, this is an uneducated person just yapping at a microphone. Enjoy every podcast ever, please. Okay, this is another qualm I actually have with the entire series as a whole. I know everybody loves an underdog. I know everyone loves an underdog, but I don't know why every significant thing that ever happened in Panem was in District 12. That's a little strange in my opinion. Like, I get it. It's all tying together. Whoa, like wow, Haymitch saw Katniss being born and her dad is one of his friends. Spoilers, was one of his friends. um, anyways, but, and like, I get it. Like, sorry, this is gonna be wholly spoilers, and I get it. Like, oh, President Snow was shipped off to 12 at one point in time. Like, I get it. But also, like, why couldn't something have happened in like 8 or like, I don't know, 5? It seems a little odd. Just saying. But I do think that Haymitch is quite literally the most preyed upon person in the entire series. I think he is the one that came out with the short straw, and I feel so bad for him. It cuts deep. Like, I think death would have been a much more merciful ending for him. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. If you've read the 5th book, I think you know. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair. So I guess I'm just going to talk about the Hunger Games series as a whole. Not even just the trilogy anymore. We are going to talk about everything. Do I think Katniss was a good Mockingjay? Yes, absolutely. And I think she's better at it than Peeta. I don't think Peeta would have been as good as Katniss is, because Peeta is a lot more hesitant to take action. He actually thinks first. And I think you need someone a little spontaneous. And I think the killing of Coin was crazy, but I think it's understandable. Like, you just, although this is one thing I don't understand, actually, when thinking about it. I don't know why Katniss voted for the Hunger Games on the Capital Children. Like, that's really strange to me. I don't understand. You know, that was one that really made me go, huh. I have no, I don't know. If someone can tell me and point that out, why, that'd be stellar. Please let me know, because that really stumped me. I was thinking about that for a minute. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would Katniss be okay with putting the Capital children, still children, through the same problem that she had to fight for, and like through the same tragedy and trauma? I think that's crazy. I think that's not what Katniss would have done. But at that point, maybe she was just too broken. You know, she wasn't she wasn't the same girl. Obviously not. There's too much that had happened. Too much trauma. But yeah, I don't know. There's some funky stuff there. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Haymitch is like the biggest, most tragic story ever. Like, oh no, someone protect him. Oh wait, Snow hates him. And oh, not again. Tam Amber saying not again. Oh my god. No, or was it Clerk Carmine? Oh, Clerk Carmine? Yes. Was that what he said? I don't remember, but basically, the entire series is so sad, so upsetting. But it does serve a greater purpose to kind of understand, like, hey, society isn't always good. Shocked, horrified. Especially, like, people in power aren't always good. You know? Two sides aren't always good. Speaks somewhat of American politics. It's a super interesting concept. And props to Suzanne Collins for that. Like, that's crazy to come up with that entire world and so many intricate stories. And props to her for breaking my heart so many times. It's crazy. But I don't know. What are my biggest qualms with the entire series? Let's think. The biggest injustices. Um, First of all, I mean, okay, Lucy Gray, I don't know what happened to her. I'm confused too. But Haymitch's story confirms she's dead. But was there a body found? What do you mean not again? Does that mean like she ran back to 12? I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Also, Coriolanus Snow gotta be the most evil person on the planet from like day one. Not even day one though, like from like midday. Midday? Maybe like day 20, you know? He starts out as oh, you're like, okay, like you're fine. But then he gets evil really fast and really quickly. And you're like, ooh, yikes. Like, obviously, he ends up being the most evil person on the planet Earth, but I don't understand what switched when he found the guns in the house and when he went to go then kill Lucy Gray. Is the point that he's just crazy? Is that the what is going on? I don't really understand that part either. Cuz how is this the girl that you love and like the only one you've told your secrets to? And maybe that's part of it, because you know, people knowing secrets about you, especially about him, is super duper like uh embarrassing, I guess. I don't know. He was like, I'm embarrassed to be known that I'm poor. And I'm like, but like you're fine. I don't know. Maybe I just missed the point on that one too, but I don't. Maybe the whole point is that he went mad. I don't understand what happened. So you're just walking through the woods and then being like, oh, I just want to find her. And then you're like, oh my God, she's gonna rat me out. In fact, she's trying to kill me first. I don't know if she was. I'm kind of confused by that whole last sequence. Everything just happened so fast that I'm like, what? So, what? And then she disappears. Just like the song. There is poetic justice in it. I will admit, like, I understand. Well, justice isn't the right word. There's like poetic symbolism and symmetry within a lot of it, which I appreciate. But do I understand? Not really. And I maybe it's like, oh, up to audience interpretation, but I would just like to know what happens. Like, did she die there? Did she die of old age? Did she die in childbirth? Is she Lenore Dove's like mom? Or is it Maud, or like Maud Ivory is her mom? I don't understand. Who is Lenore Dove's mom? Who is it? I don't care though. I don't care though. And maybe this is something that I should just Google search and I'll find the answer. Actually, you know what? You know what? Oh, hello. You know what? Let's see. Let's see. What do we got here? Mother died when she was born. Her father's never mentioned. There's no indication. Okay. Okay, so it's likely Lucy Gray or Maud Ivory's daughter. That's what I thought. But I don't know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this? Why does this say that there's a theory about Lenore Dove being Lucy Gray and Cornelia Snow's daughter? Um, I don't I don't think so. I think that's crazy. Are you kidding me? I don't even think they kissed. There is no way. I understand, obviously, like, it's a YA novel. You can't be putting that stuff in there, but, girl, bye. There's no way. I would be gagged. I would think I'm going crazy. I might start hunting in the woods. Like, you know, kind of crazy work. But I don't know. Sorry, this is a very disjointed and I almost said disgruntled. That's not right. It's going to be a very choppy video. Probably not very good. But this is just my qualms on the Hunger Games, the entire series. So, sorry. But not sorry. This is fun for me. I like divulging. I'm sorry. No, that's evil. I can't imagine Lucy Gray and Cornelia Snow. Like, I understand they were lovers. They were in love. But no. But no. And this is I think Haymitch was done the greatest injustice. The fact that he fed Lenore Dove the gumdrop and it was poison. But he didn't know. He didn't check it. And then in the dreams, he never checks it and she keeps dying. I'm like, oh my God. Like, actually awful. Actually awful. Oh my, oh. Like, I can't even. And he was such, like, a lovable scamp, you know, like, he was like in love with, he loved life. But then he hated life because everyone he loved got murked. They all got murdered. Ridiculous. That freaking Cornelius, who, like, I don't understand what made Cornelius turn evil. Was it always beneath him? Like, I think it was a little bit in him, but I don't know why he went off the rails so much. Like, that's crazy. Just like he was, you know. And I don't know. You know, I would love to see Finnick and Annie's story. I would love to see Finnick's story or something. Maybe Annie's story. Maybe, oh, maybe. That heartbreaking. Oh my goodness. Why would she do that to me? Why does she hate me? Why would she do that to me? And why would she kill Prim? That was so messed up. Oh my God. Okay, yes. I know Katniss then was like, we'll do a capital Hunger Games for the, like, we'll do a Hunger Games for the capital children because of Prim. But you're just murdering more children that have sisters like you and, like, families like you. And maybe you're just not thinking straight and you want revenge, but it just isn't a very Katniss move, in my opinion. I think it's really fascinating that happened. I don't understand. And the epilogue in Haymitch's is very sweet. I like, because it includes Katniss and Peeta and talking about the book that they made for, like, the tributes and stuff. And I think that's very nice. But it is weird how Cornelius's story definitely feels so far detached. Obviously being, like, technically, like, number 0 in the series or whatever. And then, like, 1, 2, 3, all of Katniss's story. And then Haymitch is before Katniss's, but then it ends after Katniss's. I don't know if it's technically counted as the first book now. I mean, great story, great work, but my heart, my soul, like, how sad. I don't know. That's just a theory. No, but I don't know. There's a lot of different things that happen. Like, mostly the deaths are just like, why would you kill them? You didn't have to do that. They're fictional, but I still liked them. Boggs dying, that was also sad. Boggs understood. Don't trust any of them. It's like, oh, T. And he's right, too. Maybe I'm just missing the entire point, but there were so many injustices done, and just utterly heartbroken. I mean, I understand Peeta had to survive, but should Peeta have survived? Not sure. Especially after what we see Snow do to Haymitch in his book, I'm surprised Katniss got out that unscathed. Like, Prim was the only one really close to her who ended up dying. And her mom was still fine, Peeta was still fine, Gale was still fine. And maybe that's just Snow getting weak and old, or, like, because there was more of an army protecting them all. But I don't know. I'm not really sure. I do think the tributes also were a lot more sad when in Haymitch's, because we didn't really know any of the tributes during Katniss's Hunger Games, but we knew, like, all of them during Haymitch's, and that was sad. And I think the Luella McCoy thing lining up with Katniss's, oh, it's so sad. there's just some crazy stuff that happens that you're like, dang, holy powerful. I understand why Haymitch was the way he was now. And like, obviously that's the whole point. But it just really like, was like, oh, because also I hadn't read it before, so this is my first read through. Like every other book I think I've at least read, I'm pretty sure at one point in time, but of course this one was literally last year came out, so why would I have read it yet, you know? This was like the first one where it was like entirely new information, so I was like not prepared. I wasn't prepared for the amount of heartbreak that was happening, and I had heard rumors about it, you know, where it's like, yeah, it was just like sad, whatever, like heartbreaking, duh, but like I didn't actually know it was gonna be that. And how was I actually supposed to know? I don't know. But yeah, sorry, this is so like choppy. I'm so sorry. I'm like switching subject to subject to subject. But ugh, gross. But you know what? Why not? I'm allowed to do what I want. Anyways, but yeah, I didn't like Haymitch's story. I mean, I think it was so sad and disrespectful, and I didn't like that. I don't like it when she kills them. I don't like it. I know that's the point. I know I'm literally supposed to get attached, but it really is so sad. Read the 5th one. Read them all. Honestly, it's a good little lesson of like, hey, people are getting bombed now. See how this actually could affect you, perhaps? Hey, maybe read the news. You know, obviously it's not entirely like real life, but I think it does allude to some real life ideas and real life conflicts where it's like, wow, like children are still dying, and that's not okay, you know? Children are dying from starvation, like in District 12. Children are dying from violence from like every corner of the world. Isn't that awful? Like, I don't know. It definitely feels more despair than anything else when you're like, yeah, this would never happen. It's fiction. It's like, well, parts of it are true though. And I don't know. Just, ugh. It's just awful. And I know it's really hard to do anything about anything. Like, there's nothing anyone can really do about it. Well, some people could do something about it. But in the end, it feels really hopeless. Because what am I supposed to do about that? It's awful. And it shouldn't be happening. But what am I supposed to do about that? I don't have power. I don't have the power to do that, or the money to create the power to do that. People do though. Yep, they don't do anything about it though. I do wonder that. How does someone with so much money and so much power still not do good? When is there a point where you have too much money? What do you do with $1 billion? Even like 500 million, what do you even do with that? I don't understand. I don't know if I ever will. But how do you have that much money and you're still not doing anything to help anybody except yourself? There's so many people that could not, like, there is a way that the rich people of the world could stop starvation altogether, world hunger. That could stop existing. But you just choose to not do that? I genuinely don't understand. If you have the power to change the world for the good, how are you not doing that? What are you gonna do with that money? You're not doing anything worthwhile with it. You're buying possessions, buying experiences, but you can still buy possessions and experiences that aren't up to that level. Maybe it's just because they're too far detached from most people to where it's not even a thought. It's more of an instinct. I don't know. But how evil? How evil is that? That people are literally able to stop everybody on the world from starving to death, and they're not. They're not stopping that. Just something to think about, I guess. Anyways, that's kind of what I was thinking about when reading The Hunger Games too. Just like, wow, it's fictional, it's not real. But there is parts based in truth that are happening actively. Maybe not to you, but definitely to somebody. I don't know, sorry, wholly depressing. I guess that's just also kind of what it made me think of. Yeah, I'm just not really sure how to end this just because there's so much Hunger Games things that happen in the Hunger Games. I guess what I'm trying to say in general is that, yeah, the Hunger Games series is incredible, and it's also heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. But so is life, you know, so is the world we live on. It's incredible, but there's also so much injustice within it. And I guess the goal is to try and stop that, or at least kind of tilt it into good rather than evil. But I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say. I guess just do your best when you can. Try and not hoard billions and billions of dollars for yourself if you ever get to that point. And maybe do something good for someone who might not be in a good place. You know? Basic humanity stuff. But yet there's no humanity in the Hunger Games. And sometimes not in this life either. So sorry, that was very upsetting. And I don't mean to make you depressed. This is supposed to be a fun, little quirky video. But alas. Anyways, I guess that's it. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you don't feel too sad by the state of the world. Okay, bye.